A legend. I mean, I got nothing but love and respect for that lady. What she did was so impressive. She was the first legitimate female superstar. She made the UFC female division possible. If it was
Guys, we are talking Joe Rogan podcast today. So strap in, buckle up, hit the like. Let's see if we can get one like and subscribe. Here we go.
wasn't for her, Dana was very open about never having female UFC fighters. It took someone that was that dynamic, that was that special, to open his eyes and go, you know what? I think this lady's a star. And to be the type, like when she said, like, I wasn't an expert, everyone's entitled to their opinion, you know, but you got to understand why she thinks like that.
She was an expert. She was the champion for a while. I'm pretty sure it was Betch Correia was the one that destroyed her reign, if I remember correctly.
She has a champion mentality. You never fought, you ain't shit. You know, it's real simple.
So the football guys always do that. You didn't play? You're like, yeah, but I studied the sport.
Doesn't matter, you ain't shit.
Right.
I get it. It's totally fine. You can't judge her, like, compare her to, like, Zhang Weili. Because, like, Zhang Weili, who was the 115-pound champion, she had a chance to watch all these other people.
Right.
Learn what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, what's effective, what's not effective. What Ronda had is world-class judo. World-class. Bronze medalist in the Olympics.
See, a lot of people would say that Ronda Rousey's specialty was judo underneath the MMA, umbrella, I guess you could say.
One of the best arm bars, period, in the sport, in the history of the sport. Her fucking arm bar, the technique was flawless. There's a fight with her and Kat Zingano. Kat Zingano launches at her, just fucking Kat Zingano was an animal. Charges at her, Ronda catches her in an arm bar in like 13 seconds. I don't remember the exact time. It was...
If you're still watching, drop a comment saying arm bar.
Nuts. But it was perfect. Perfect technique. You know, you couldn't fuck with that. But then she fought Holly Holm. And when she fought Holly Holm, she was dealing with an elite boxer,
That's
elite
who it was. It was Holly Holm that beat her, not Betch Correia. I think Betch Correia was one of the last fights that she won.
Boxer. And a very physically strong woman who had an awesome game plan and who had a chance to study Ronda. And maybe more importantly, came from a great camp. And that camp, Jackson Winklejohn camp, one of the best camps in the world. John Jones came out of that camp. Donald Cerrone originally came out of that camp. A lot of great fighters came out of there. So they were really good at game planning. So they knew how Ronda likes to clinch. They knew how Ronda likes to set up her takedowns. And they knew, what to avoid. And then on top of that, Holly's just an elite striker. So every time Ronda tried to close the distance, the striking that she was very effective with against guys like Betch Correia, these fighters that were a lower tier, it's
guys like Betch Correia, remember that.
Not going to be as effective with someone like Holly. Holly started catching her on the feet and had her rock.
Holly also had those extremely long legs. She was very tall and definitely had that reach advantage over Ronda.
And then landed that famous high kick and put her out.
Well, I thought they were like the same age and same era, but like Holly's after. She was able to learn from...
I wouldn't say they are the same era, but Holly, she had wins and losses. She lost to Valentina Shevchenko. She lost to some other fighters, but it was stylistically, it was a great matchup for her because she's an elite striker. She's really good at striking. She's really good at movement. And when Ronda has to close that distance, every fight starts in the feet.
It really does. I mean, I've been watching UFC since 97, 98. Yeah, I'm old. So I know what he's talking about here. Remember Ken Shamrock, anybody? If you're still watching, comment Shamrock.
And when you were the very physically strong woman who's got good takedown defense and is good at like catching you as you're charging in, that was the problem in that fight. Also the problem in that fight, I think, for Ronda is when you start becoming really famous, then the hyenas show up. And they start offering you this and offering you that and distracting you with this and distracting you with that. And now you're going to meetings and you're talking to agents and you're setting up movies and you're doing this and you're doing that. And all those things take away
You lose your focus.
The most important thing, which is your fighting.
Yep.
Even if they don't take away from the amount of training you do, they take away from your focus. They rob you of the bandwidth.
Yep.
I always tell the comics this when it comes to...
It's the absolute truth, because when you start as a rookie and then work your way up, to like intermediate, you don't have those distractions from the sponsors and the commercials and the movies and all the stuff that Joe is saying. So you're just focused on your craft, which is fighting, And then when you start getting distracted with the limelight, the people that want to beat you are working twice or three times as hard as you are, because you're distracted with the limelight and they're just working on their craft, like Holly Holm did, and that's why she took the crown away from Ronda Rousey, Rowdy Ronda.
Like dealing with haters and things online that you shouldn't read.
Oh yeah.
You only have, think of your mind as having a number of units of attention. Think you have 100 units of focus. Anything that eats into those units, anything that bothers you, that annoys you, that's useless, that doesn't help you, that's stealing from your 100.
Yep.
So now you only have 80 units or 70 units of focus, because 30 of it is concentrated on bullshit. It'll rob you of what makes you great.
Yes.
So
that's 1,000%. It's exactly what I was saying. Right on.
Two factors. There was the skill of Holly, the fact that she had all this opportunity to study Ronda and with a great team and devise a game plan. And then there's also the stealing of focus. Ronda, I was one of the biggest champions of her as a fighter, as a legitimate pioneer and a star. It was Gina Carano and Chris Cyborg to a certain extent, but Cyborg had an asterisk because everybody knew she was roided up. And then it was Ronda. But Ronda eclipsed all of them. She was bigger than all of them. I was a huge supporter and still am. But when you watch a fight and you're watching you get your ass kicked and the other person is talking about how great the other person is doing and how bad you're doing.
Right.
That doesn't sit well with a lot of people.
Right.
It doesn't sit well with a lot of people. Exactly like what Joe is saying here. Because everyone's got, a different outlook on the sport.
Especially someone who's got that kind of champion mentality, that fucking pit bull mentality. I thought you were with me. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And then it was after the fight. I was very public about saying I don't think she should fight for a long time. They were talking about doing an immediate rematch. And I was like, that's crazy. They were talking about doing a rematch in 4 months or something like that. I was like, when you get head kicked into the shadow realm, you're supposed to take a long time off. When Manny Pacquiao got knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez, it was a fucking picture-perfect right hand that knocked Manny Pacquiao out. His coach, Freddie Roach, said, you can't fight for a year. I don't want you doing anything for a year. For one...
Coach Freddie Roach. Remember Freddie Roach? He trained a lot of the most popular boxers out there.
1 year. Because you got to heal up from something like that. It's bad. When you get knocked unconscious, it's not just that you'll be a touch gun shy, which is possible, but also that you're more vulnerable to getting hit. And then you could ruin your chin forever. If you get knocked out, there's certain fighters that used to have iron chins, like Chuck Liddell is one of the greatest examples of that. He had an iron chin. You could hit that dude with a fucking sledgehammer, and he would just keep swinging at you. And then eventually it got to the point where he would get clipped, and he would just go out. And it wasn't him, it was his brain was broken. It was too many times, too many shots, too many knockouts, too many...
I mean, it's... When you're in this kind of sport, you're getting smashed in the head with these guys, the pros, they have no head protection, no headgear. So there's just so much the human body can take of blunt force impact like that. Everyone comment blunt force. Drop that in the comments if you're still watching.
Impacts. You got to preserve that. You got to be very careful with that. You got to take a long time off. And then there was the Amanda Nunes fight.
Mm-hmm.
So the Amanda Nunes fight, I was also very vocal that everybody was putting all of the attention in the promotion on Ronda making this huge comeback. And if you watch the promos for that fight, I thought they were crazy disrespectful because the promos, and obviously, look, Ronda was a fucking huge star, a much bigger star than Amanda Nunes. And that loss was a shocking upset to a lot of people that didn't understand martial arts and didn't think that Holly had a chance. Didn't think anybody had a chance. She was going to beat everybody forever. But all of the promo was Ronda coming back. All of it was like she's coming back to take what's hers. It was Ronda in a mansion looking out. It was like the worst promo set. Like Ronda in a mansion looking out the window saying, I'm going to go get my title. I don't know who made that. I don't know what it was, but I remember being backstage the day of the fight.
Yeah, I remember that promo, and it really didn't make me want to root for Ronda Rousey. It just didn't.
And there was all these agents mulling around, all these Hollywood twats. And this guy was like, I forget his exact words. They were talking. He didn't know who Ronda was fighting. And he said, I don't know what her name is, but whoever it is, it's her funeral. That's what he said. And I was like, oh my God. Like, these are the people? Meanwhile, Amanda Nunes was the scariest person at 135. And that's what I had said before she fought Holly Holm. I mean, like Dana and I talked about, I said, I think Amanda's the scariest title challenger because she can flatline chicks with one punch. Right. She's very different than all the other ones. She wound up flatlining Chris Cyborg. It was a crazy fight. She beats the fuck out of everybody. She hits so hard, like way harder than most women. And I was...
Yeah, so if you guys are familiar with Amanda Nunes, I mean, she brought such a different force to the women's division of the UFC in her debut and all the way through now. It's just kind of crazy how much she changed the sport. You know what I mean?
Like, that's a dangerous fucking opponent.
Oh, yeah.
And they're making it seem like this is all about the Ronda comeback when Amanda was the champion. So Holly had beaten Ronda, Miesha Tate had beaten Holly, and then Amanda had beaten Miesha Tate. So Amanda was the fucking champion, but all the promotion was all about Ronda. And then
they were trying to do like pro wrestling. Like,
I don't know what they were doing.
She'll come back.
I think, they were just selling the fight. They were selling it. And the best way to sell it is, I guess, that way.
Who's more famous?
But it's disrespectful to the champion, especially a fucking dangerous champion. And if the champion wins, which I thought she was going to win.
Let's also just add that Ronda Rousey had quite a time in WWE in wrestling. You know what I mean? So the promos kind of make sense.
It sets up, but it's not good to set her up. Like, you should set her up. Like, how fucking dangerous she is.
Yeah.
Now you got a bigger star. Obviously, she wound up being a bigger star. And Amanda's the greatest of all time. Like, widely considered to be the greatest mixed martial arts female fighter in history.
That's amazing.
Because she fucks everybody up. She's just so dangerous. And then that fight happens, and then that lady takes Ronda out in the first round. Just beats the piss out of her. Just stops her standing. It was brutal. I never had a bad thing to say about Ronda. I still don't. I understand her mentality. I mean, she's a champion-minded person. Like, she's like, you're fucking with me or against me. It's me against the world. She doesn't have a chip on her shoulder. She's got a forest. She's got a whole forest on her shoulder.
She does.
You know what I mean? Like, but that's why she was so good. And we're lucky she's a woman. If that lady was a man, she'd be Genghis Khan. Okay? Right. She'd fucking take over the world.
I mean, what Joe is saying is so true. This is why they're saying she's a legend. She really is.
She's an animal.
It's scary.
So that's why she has that opinion. That's just how she thinks about things.
Right.
I was mad at her just as an everyday man because my nieces love any woman that's famous for any reason, and my nieces also aren't experts about UFC. They're little girls, and they just think it's cool that a woman's a badass, they like that kind of stuff. And so then when she lost to be on TikTok, I mean, actually people made TikToks of it. It's not like Ronda Rousey was on TikTok, but she was on Ellen being like, I just wanted to quit, and I saw my man, and I just realized I want to have babies. And I was like, this is not really the message. If you lose, to just go be a pro wrestler or have babies. That's not, I don't know. I felt like it was a strange way for a champion to talk.
Yeah, but that's her legitimately as a human being. That's what she wanted.
Yeah.
And there's a
I mean, I kind of agree what he's saying. It is a little like, you know, it's like it's like admitting defeat in a way, you know, when you had this legacy. I get what everyone's saying here.
there comes a time.
That's good. No, that would be a
Yeah.
fine way to frame it.
Well, she was being honest. She wanted to
Yeah.
have babies. She didn't want to do it anymore. And that there comes a time where, look, every fighter can only redline for so long. And the reality of fighting is you're redlining.
What does that mean?
You know what a red line when the engine, you know, when your tachometer reaches like 8,000 RPMs, like,
Right.
you can only do that for so long,
Right.
or your engine blows.
Right.
But to be in peak physical condition, to be able to fight in a championship fight, you essentially have to redline your body through camp. You have to get your body to a place where it's at a rare. You can't maintain fight shape.
Right.
It's not possible. You get to a certain part, you peak, and then the last week you kind of drop off so that you can recover. And so that Saturday night, when Saturday night rolls up and the lights go on in Madison Square Garden, you are as fucking ready as a human being can get. But you
Yeah.
can't maintain that, and you can't do that forever. This is only, and they think that there's a theory amongst mixed martial arts commentators and experts and what have you that is about 9 years. 9 years is redline your body through camp. You have you can only
This is what
you
I
know
want.
when your tachometer reaches like 8,000 RPMs, like
Right.
you can only do that for so long.
Like this.
1,000 RPMs, like
Right.
you can only do that for so
Right.
you
Right.
you can only do that for so long, or your engine blows. But to be in as a human being can get, but you can't maintain that, and you can't do that forever. This is only, and they think that there's a theory amongst mixed martial arts commentators and experts and what have you that is about 9 years.
Right.
9 years is all it's possible to compete at a peak level. And
Yeah.
then you get a drop off. Some people have more longevity than others. It varies. Some people it's a much shorter reign. And you got to kind of look at who they were when they were at the
There have been some pro fighters that, like what Joe's saying, haven't come close to 9 years. You know, maybe it was 3 to 5, and that's still a lot.
top. You can only look at them when they're at that peak. Like guys like Anderson Silva, he gets kind of dismissed because later in his life the performances weren't the same. They weren't elite performances. But I say that's just human. You got to look at him when he was the champion. He was one of the most elite guys that's ever competed in the sport, period. He's
Sure.
one of the greatest of all time. But you got to look at when he was in his prime.
Sure.
You know, and there's only a certain amount of time you can do that. And then when a fighter doesn't want to do that and only that anymore, you got to get out. You got to get out because there's some fucking 20-year-old Mike Tyson out there. There's some animal. There's some dude that lives, breathes, sleeps fighting. And all they want to do is land shots and take you out. That's their whole focus in life. They don't give a
And this is what they were talking about with the focus situation, like with Ronda Rousey in the beginning of the video. These guys are focused on their craft and nothing else. It's Nerf or nothing. If you're still watching, comment, it's Nerf or nothing.
fuck about relationships. They don't give a fuck about where they live. They don't give a fuck about anything, just winning. And that's how you become a world champion. That's how you become elite.
Mm-hmm.
You can only maintain it for so long. It's not a normal way for a human being to exist.
That's right.
It's a very strange way to live.
Yeah.
You know? And for her it's natural. Like she's a woman. She's like, I don't have babies. I have this great man and she's married to Travis Brown, who's also a beast, who was a elite UFC heavyweight, top 10 heavyweight. You know, she's like, I'm done. I'm gonna make some warrior kids. I get it.
I saw it. I was like, what the hell does that mean?
Uh,
Just quitting?
She just didn't
You got
want
beat
to.
up, you quit?
No.
Now my
She-
niece is root for Holly Holm. Good lady.
Yeah,
Holly Holm's nice.
she is nice.
Yeah.
Now they root for Holly Holm.
That's what we like. We like the winners who are nice.
The winners
I
who
get
are
it, but
nice.
There's something about Ronda being Ronda that made the sport what it is.
But I
Right.
root
That's
for
what-
Luke Skywalker, not Darth Vader.
She's not Darth
Sure,
Vader.
Darth Vader's cooler, and he's
The Ronda Rousey era, what was that, 2013 to like 2016 when the Holly Holm fight happened, right? It was a fun time to be watching UFC fights. It really was.
Probably more strong. He's got the thing, you know. But, you know, Luke's the good guy, and I like the good guy. And I root for the good guy.
She's not a bad guy. She's, you know, like, look, her mother was a badass. Her mother was a elite judo competitor.
Actually, I hate disagreeing with you, Joe. But she went to wrestling, Ronda, and then she said all these terrible things about the wrestlers. She said terrible things about you, who I love.
She didn't say anything terrible about me.
She said you're not an expert
That's
about
all she
UFC.
said. That's not terrible. That's just an opinion.
Seems mean to me.
No. That's all. Look, if I was a pussy, it would be mean.
Well, I'm a pussy. I'm defending you. That's what I'm doing.
If I was like,
that's what we do, dude.
That's my whole identity.
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, man. So, what did you guys think? Did Joe go in a little too much on Ronda or not enough? I want to hear from you. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here. If you enjoyed this, we got more reactions coming. Let me know what you want us to react to next. And let's see if we can hit our 1 like goal. All right? So until next time, you keep watching that content. We'll keep reacting. And if nobody's told you yet today, you're awesome and you are worth it. Peace.